We are the Nerdy Turtle Network.
Hello everybody, welcome to Icons of the Water World. I'll be your GM for the morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you're watching this. Jason, and with me will be Curtis playing Imidon, Taylor playing Slapshot,
Howdy, howdy.
Mike playing Everlast,
Hello.
and Zach playing Wolf Witch.
Howdy.
Now, let's see, everybody can see the board. I assume everybody remembers where we left off last time?
Yep, we're about to get attacked in a big philanthropist front office.
Yeah, we were about to scrap.
Well, to be fair, it's more like a cult office.
Look, just because they've all got the same haircut and kind of dress the same, have the same token.
Unwavering loyalty to its leader.
Maybe it's just a great company to work for.
Benefits package.
Everybody kind of realized a fight was a brewing and kind of locked their doors, so I'm not sure it's a great company.
Well, you had one guy that y'all had been talking to that had jumped in and barricaded himself in his. Alright, well, where did I put my shit? There it is. Cause y'all were investigating what was it? International Global Ministries, I believe was the name of the charity.
Yes, IGM.
They were in the building that you had fought the headsman on the top of. So researching who was in the building, you'd become suspicious of this group. You'd come in chatting with them. In your civilian identities, basically in the guise of the architect wanting to make a donation. Somebody see, who was it? Wolf Witch, was it you that noticed the gentleman leaving the office have a reaction to Everlast?
I think that was actually the architect.
Okay. Anywho, somebody saw him have a reaction to Everlast. And, just made a mental note of it. But then as you were leaving, some sort of, I guess you would call it ambush, seems to have been set up. It was mostly the office workers. And one woman that I believe I described as having dark hair, ignore the fact that the token's blonde. She just had the right kind of mask. That you had seen, other than the receptionist, she was the only woman you had seen in the office. And as you were arriving, she was stepping into another elevator. Other than the mask, though, she's dressed the same, so you kind of figure it's the same person. You had heard stomping around the corners, heavy boots. And I think you had just seen some of the sword saints around the corner. Which were these golden armored fellows that you'd run into before.
As I recall, they did tell us that we could leave if we left Everlast with them.
Oh yes, I believe they had made you that offer.
But we hadn't actually considered that.
Wait, what offer?
You can all go if you just leave Everlast behind. We just want her.
Can her safety be assured? Says Slapshot intimidatingly with his sunglasses on.
Absolutely.
We're going to take his word on this?
Her.
Oh, right, her.
I want to roll a willpower check to just see if she sounds honest.
Alright, give me a roll. think there's something shady here.
And why precisely do you want our young friend here?
Just to study her, to find where her abilities come from, for the benefit of all humanity.
Mm-hmm. So you want to cut her open and see how she ticks. I
We
really
have
don't like that.
MRIs and things like that these days. There's not a lot of scalpel work. I guess I'm not really in charge of it.
I have a counteroffer. You let us out of the building, and I don't eat your faces.
That's harsh.
Everlast also declares that her let's see, what would she say? Her mantle isn't something that could be analyzed and packaged up for mass production.
You assume that, but you don't actually know. That is her response. That is the woman's response.
Well, I spent my life preparing for her, so I think I know more.
What you know is superstition. It's never been studied using the scientific method.
Slapshot from the background. Have you seen magic users since the 1950s? They've started using the scientific method. They're not idiots. Alright, is that true? Yeah, it's true. Okay.
Well, I don't know. You start thinking about Wolf Witch's shop. That was kind of old-fashioned looking. And,
Can your science explain how it rings?
What about
She's
magnets?
not a magician from the 1950s. She's a magician from the 1850s or earlier. Probably earlier. I forget you're all really old.
So, are there any office workers? I'm sorry, you're something was about to be said by the way.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just wondering. You said that all the office workers had hunkered down at this point.
No, the one guy you had been talking to, when he saw her with the mask up and all this, he kind of goes, jumps back, kind of shut his door. All the rest of the office workers are flooding the hallways. Like human barricades.
Good. Oh, okay. So they're actually part of the fight, not just running from it.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna guess you've spent a lot of time and energy and money setting up this this front office thing of yours. Is a big blowout fight really what you want to have to deal with afterwards? That's going to be a lot of ugly cleanup that you're going to have to do. A lot of people are going to be looking into you no matter how this fight goes down. Is that really something you want to bother with right now?
Only if the fight spills out of our office.
It's going to spill out. Trust me.
I'm
crack my
gonna
knuckles.
sprout, if I can, I'm going to sprout my wings and make them look like fiery wings. And I'm just going to add, there will be fire damage.
I hope you're up to code.
Oh. You see her speaking to the thing, and suddenly the sprinklers turn on. Well, now there's water damage. But we can easily make excuses to the insurance company about this.
You don't cover smoking in the boys' room.
As they've been talking, the Sword Saints have advanced, coming up behind the office workers.
Let's see, where are we right now? How close are we to a wall?
To an outside
Not
wall or
very
just
close.
a wall to another room?
I was hoping for an outside wall, but it doesn't look like we're super close to it.
No, you'd have to go through one of those offices.
Yeah. Which one? Oh, here. Okay, this is where I'm at. Well. Oh, there's no.
What was that, Tyler?
What floor are we on?
I forget. Y'all are up pretty high.
All right.
I don't think it was the top floor by any means, but it was, top 4 or 5 floors of this building anyway.
Well,
So you-
my goodness. I'm sorry.
So as it becomes obvious that you're not going to hand her over, without any visible sign that you notice, all the office workers charge forward.
Ah, okay.
Alright, let me clear this. We'll go through and give everybody a turn. I'm just going to give the Sword Saints and the office workers all one turn. She gets a turn. And all of you get a turn. Alright, so it is a D6 plus your coordination.
Yay, I have a 7.
Alright, so she got a 6.
And how are we handling the architect?
Do you have access to her sheet?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, you must play the one you hate.
Dun,
On-
dun, dun.
You can't make them pick their nose. I mean, I guess you could, but it has to be funny.
Alright, office workers on a 4. Sword Saints on a 5.
They all lunge for you, but oddly enough, you all go before them.
I rolled the same number on the dice for all 3 groups.
That you did. I hope it's a reoccurring pattern.
I hope I'm working all them 2 rolls out.
I'm hoping you're working them in.
Alright, and then there is...
Oh, no.
That's for Mott, though. Or Priest of Mott. Not that he's necessarily picked that name yet, but, Wolf, which is,
Assistant.
yes, assistant. Employee. Who you saw clock in before y'all headed out to this place. And I believe he is in... Was it him and... It was him and somebody else had a magical disguise on him.
I had sunglasses on.
Were they magic sunglasses?
I had a suit and sunglasses. I'm real sad because my good suit's getting rained on. And I'm about to have to bust out of it into my uniform.
I think Wolfwitch had cast a minor illusion on herself.
Okay.
I wasn't disguised, but I had made myself look Middle Eastern.
So while y'all are all in plain clothes, it's for most of you at least, maybe with the exception of Everlast, you don't, obviously look like who you actually are. I mean, as long as Slapshot doesn't put sunglasses on in real life. Alright, so the Architect got a 9. Imudon got a... How'd you get a -4?
I don't know.
1 plus -5.
It should have been a 6.
Can you
You actually travel back in time, I think.
Hey, look at your coordination on your character. Make sure it's a +5.
Yeah, it looks like there must be a negative put in on your sheet somewhere.
Well, I was manually using the die roller
Oh, okay.
on Roll20, and obviously I hit negative somehow.
Alright, but that should be a 6 based on what you rolled. Everlast got a...
9.
And Wolfwitch got also a 9. Alright, so that's everybody. Slap them in descending order. Top of the order is Wolfwitch.
I'm sorry, I was hitting I was hitting the wrong button. But I think Wolfwitch is just gonna prepare a magical blast.
Okay. Is that something she does innately, or is that her actual magic skill?
It's a actual magic skill.
Okay. Alright. And you roll that versus the power rank you want the spell to be?
Yes, sir.
Alright, what rank are you having the spell coming at?
Going full all 7.
Okay, you should be good then. You'll be ready to go next round. Next up is Everlast.
All right, so I'm thinking, assuming I would have some kind of like instinctual idea of where the nearest outer wall would be. I think I want to just actually like open up the space and actually just like run through some walls and actually try to like literally jump off the building. Just by going southward on this map. I've got, unfortunately, I don't have the leaping power, but I do have, I'm super strong and I've got super speed at 4. I don't know if that could help at all.
That would help as far as covering the distance. The super strength would help you get through the wall if you're trying to just bust. If you're just trying to Kool-Aid man through it.
Basically, yes. Since I don't think I don't recall this. In fact, I know the Sword Saints aren't able to fly because of that one guy who bounced when we knocked him over the ledge on the last fight.
Oh no, he didn't bounce.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, I think I just get out, or at the very least expand the fighting area, so we're not all like super constrained by these walls. And
all right. So
also, hopefully, knock the building down. So yeah, southward, towards the bottom.
All right. So you can run into that office no trouble. The door's unlocked. Nobody is currently in there, and this southernmost wall. You see where I'm pinging it?
Yep.
It's all windows.
Oh, convenient.
Hey, it's what's on the map.
Okay.
So you can easily toss an office chair through there, or just go smashing through it yourself, or.
Yeah, I'm wondering what's the likelihood of me being able to make the distance to the other side of the street below, is given that I don't have the leaping ability.
You don't have leaping.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh wait, do I? Oh no, I don't. And unfortunately, I don't have any determination, so I can't stunt it unless I was able to. Yeah, I just might have to do this the messy way.
Yeah, without the leaping ability, you're not gonna be able to make it over. All the sidewalk on one side, the street on the other, and then the sidewalk.
It's gonna be a messy landing.
Yeah, if you had a determination point, I'd probably let your power stun it with the super speed.
Yeah.
Just to say you build enough speed that while you are arcing down, you make it to the other building.
Right. Well, that's what I'm going to try to do. Just try to get out of here. And I don't know. I think we have enough flyers where I assume the rest of the people could potentially make it out with me. But we'll see.
All right, so you run in here and you smash through the window.
Yeah.
All right, the rest of you see Everlast duck into this office, and you hear the window smash.
Ha!
Well,
Because Everlast didn't tell you what she was planning to do. She just did it. This team thing is a new experience for her.
I really, really, really do not want to open up another portal to the Egyptian afterlife.
It's only 4 floors. She might live.
I just
don't
realized
like doing healing spells. They're always gross.
I just realized what I should have done instead. I should have just tried to literally break into the floor. Oh well.
Next up is the architect.
I suppose the architect's going just to erect a concrete wall right through here.
All right. Yes, that does not require a roll, does it? Unless you're trying to hit somebody's.
Let's see. What does transmutation say?
Well, I know it says you have to affect whole objects.
No, I don't believe I actually have to make a roll for that.
Okay, I didn't think so. So yeah, you throw your hand, or she throws her hands up, does whatever she does, and yeah, the air in front of y'all just turns into basically cement or some sort of stone.
Now run to the office. Run into the office.
Slapshot, what are you doing?
We leaving? I say to everyone.
That seems like a good idea.
Cool. Everybody in the office behind us. Let's go.
All right, so which office are you running into?
The one at the broken window.
All right, so Slapshot runs in there. You see the office is empty. The window is broken.
That's more than all I need.
So what are you doing?
Oh, I'm waiting. I gotta make sure they get out. Because I don't know if everyone has a travel ability like me.
Alright, so next up is...
And my hand is securely in the bag, holding on to my hockey stick.
Alright, so Seth runs in behind you. And he's like, where did she go?
She's super strong, so she jumped out the window.
She can fly?
She's super strong, so she jumped out the window.
And he kind of runs over to the window and looks down. As Everlast is falling, what is she doing? I mean, is she screaming? Is she looking up like she's waiting on somebody to come get her?
Yeah, I guess I was expecting everyone else to follow my lead, and hopefully that's going to be the case. But yeah, she's not. I think she's just basically. She might be looking for. Well, she's probably preparing for where she sees herself about to land. I don't know if there's like any handy flagpoles or anything or ledges that she could grab onto. That would be helpful.
We'd say
something that could slow her fall at the very least.
All the windows on the way down. I'd say there's at least a little something she could try to grab once it gets around to her turn.
Sure.
Emudon.
Well, I'd love to burn the office down, but I guess our priority is protecting Everlast. So, I will. I guess I'll run through that office and leap out the window and fly after her.
Wait. Take Mott with you. If you're strong enough. If you're strong enough, take Mott with you.
Doesn't Mott fly?
Yeah. Y'all already know he can fly.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. If you're strong enough, take one of the people that can't fly with you. But not me. I'm good.
Alright, but next up is...
Since you said... It's not the kind of thing I don't think he would think of that.
Okay.
But since you said something, I guess he will. Because I just sort of picture him as not being too conscious of the perils of
living in 3D.
Being three-dimensional. So I guess he could grab Seth. Seth can't fly.
No, Seth can fly.
Oh, Seth can't fly, so who can't?
Wolf Witch doesn't fly. The Architect doesn't fly.
No.
Does Slapshot fly?
No, but he'll make it.
I mean, let's be honest. It's not that big of a deal that the Architect can't fly. I mean, she'll eventually hit the ground.
Yeah, I think with her ability, she'll eventually get up. But...
I'll grab Wolf Witch and take her with me.
All right, so you step back out, you grab her by the arm. Wolf Witch, you get unless you're resisting, you get pulled out the window.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, you have wings. You do that.
Yeah. Plus, the architect could maybe conjure up a parachute or at least a nice gigantic fluffy pillow to land into.
Now, quickly, you with your charged up blast. Blast the room I'm in, but not me.
I think you're asking a lot of my precision. I'm not used to reducing collateral damage, sweetie.
Blast the air, then. Make some noise. Just don't hit the satellites in space.
Alright. So after Imudon, it is the masked woman. Well, you really cut off her, where all she can move to.
She's got to punch through, like, a wall and a half.
So only the architect can see this. But all of a sudden, a sword blade comes through the wall right here.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
And basically starts cutting a door. You know, basically, going after the interior wall of the office rather than trying to get through the cement. But that is her turn.
Quick, fix her cuts as she's cutting them. Be just a complete jerk.
Just walks up, starts pinching them closed. There we go. Then it is the Sword Saints. One of them runs around and you hear some commotion. And the other one gets through the hole the first one cuts. And basically uses his full round to get out of here. That is, head down. That is all he does, is cover all that distance. The two up here, however, have no trouble getting down to the architect. Let's see here. So that is their... Let's see, did I input actual sheets for them? No. Okay. So the first one takes a swing at the architect. This will be prowess because it's the hand-to-hand. And
Woo,
the
just
second
made
one,
it.
Woo, just made it.
Yeah.
Like looking in the mirror.
yeah, the dice roller is really kind of hitting in sets and pairs and weird.
Well, they obviously really hate me because I got a negative number.
Yeah.
So they run up. These do not seem to be quite as skilled as the previous ones you ran into. Where they all got double attack. They were all making double attacks. These guys seem a little less sure of themselves, maybe. Maybe they're rookies, or maybe you were fighting the elite guys earlier. You're not, can't be sure. But they both run up, take a swing, miss horribly. Well, not horribly, but she ducks and dives. And then all the office workers start crowding in around her. And they will work together. One of them, all right, let's see. Two of them are going to work together to try to grapple her, try to just run up and tackle her. The other one is going to try to put the distracted condition on her to give his buddies an advantage. So it will be his willpower versus hers. As he's essentially trying to, like, bluff. Alright, so... No. She realizes he's bluffing and completely ignores her. Ignores him, rather. The other two are working together. So basically, the one will roll, the other one will be giving him a +2. And this will be their prowess.
Don't like that. Don't like that number. I like that number, however.
Yep, try as they might, they just cannot get, they cannot get her in a hold. Maybe her armor is a little, smooth and a little slick, or whatever it is. And the office workers on this side. Just kind of mill about, they want a couple of them walk up and kind of start poking at the cement just because it's appeared out of nowhere, and they don't seem to realize what the more trained folks were doing, so they're just kind of milling around. And then we're back to Wolf Witch.
Yeah. Wolf Witch is just gonna throw a magical blast at the ceiling.
Okay. What rank? What rank?
Actually, Slapshot, where did you want this blast to go?
Preferably where it doesn't kill us, but makes some noise so that, there's an immediate, why did these people suddenly pop out blasting in your spot? You know what, yeah. If you're gonna be blast, if you have to blast, if you just let it go away, we can just have it go away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
That has to go somewhere.
Nah, it doesn't have to go away, so I'm just gonna hang on to Imodan.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a Mega Buster where once you charge it up, you gotta let it go at some point.
Yeah.
Wolf Witch just prepped the spell so she has access to the spell each round.
Okay.
Alright, Everlast, you're still falling. You want to try to grab ledges and slow yourself down some?
Yes.
That would be a coordination roll.
Okay.
The number to beat is an 8.
That's exactly what I got.
Alrighty. So a tie is a marginal success, which in combat is basically the same as a failure. But in, let's see, outcomes. 0 degrees, the effort barely succeeds and may fail. So while you certainly haven't stopped yourself, you have slowed yourself down a little bit.
That's good. Do I hit the surface yet? Also,
no.
what time of the day is it? It's still business hours, I presume.
I think it was afternoon, but yes, still business hours for sure.
Okay. I mean, it's New York City, so proud of them.
And you've got some people that started looking up when they heard the glass shatter.
Sure. Oops, sorry about that, folks.
Well, none of the glasses hit you because it's falling at the same speed you are, or it was falling at the same speed you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, the next, if you don't stop yourself completely, the next round you will land.
Okay.
Architect.
Okay, so do you see all this ground right around the architect?
You
And
might
going back
hear here, and here.
And there, and in here, and over here. It's gone now.
Oh,
Like, she's just getting rid of the floor, not the walls.
Okay. Including the part she's standing on?
Not the section she's standing on.
Okay. And how big an area can she affect doing that?
Her rank is 7, so that is... I just had the benchmark table up here.
Should be a pretty good size, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's probably based on mass or weight.
Yeah. I believe it was an Abrams tank.
Yeah, tank or
Where's
bus.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Materials up to iron, yeah. So yeah, that's a decent little weight's worth of stuff.
Yep.
Now, what she takes out is, since the floor of an office building is going to be a bunch of different materials, she basically takes out like that top layer. So there's a few
Yeah,
spots where
'cause,
people may fall all the way through, but a lot of times they'll just fall down into the supports and stuff.
Yeah.
Now let me roll for the Sword Saints first. And go ahead and give me a D6 roll plus the rank of the power, just to give them a difficulty
Yeah.
about keeping their balance or managing to grab onto something. All right, all the Sword Saints fall down. The ninja chick is thrown off of balance. Basically, you see where the sword was there. You say the sword, it stops moving, and then it slowly starts inching down. Almost like she's hanging on to it on the other side. Alright. And all the office worker type guys have fallen down. So most of them are still around you, but they've kind of fallen all over the place. So is the architect going to try to move, or...
Yeah, she's gonna try and skip over to this side.
Alright, give me a coordination check then. If you're basically trying to leapfrog that guy.
Yep. Oh, just made it.
Yep, you make it just fine. So you are free to move wherever you wish. Well, within reason.
Yeah. She'll go right into the room where she saw everybody else go into.
Okay. And those of you in the room, you heard all the commotion of, it sounded like people just falling all over the place.
They're not dead.
This time. Slapshot, you're up.
Looks at architect. Can you fly?
I mean, for a little bit before I hit the ground.
Bold. I can walk on walls. You want me to carry you down?
Sure.
Cool. I have a strength of 6 that can lift a car. I'm pretty sure I can lift architect.
She's a living philosopher's stone. You know how heavy those things are?
About 1,000 people worth. So yep. Gonna grab architect, truck it on out, look at Mott. Just fly down and meet up with us on the bottom.
Oh, right.
Then I just Spider-Man my way down. And that will.
So he walks on walls. He doesn't skate on them.
It's kind of skating. But I mean, I kind of have. I'd have to combine my phasing for it to look like that. I don't feel like trying to use my phasing for that.
All right. And how far can you move?
Yes. What?
What is the rank of the
Well,
speed?
Floor.
Or
the rank of
the
wall crawling is. Our rank for wall crawling is 2.
Okay. That's right. That's based off. That's more of the strength you cling with, not It's just your regular movement speed. Never mind. So you go running down the.
Floor's typically like 12 feet, so I got like 40 feet tops.
Yeah, something like that. So you're running down.
How fast can I go 10 yards in a run? And that'll put me at safe drop distance.
Light kind of flares behind you, and you see Seth take off. He's got these golden wings made out of like golden light. They don't flap like bird wings. They're not. They're very stylized looking. It's and just kind of out stiff while he's flying with them. And they don't seem to actually connect to his back. They just kind of float there behind it. But he zips past you, moving at a much faster clip down to the ground, though in a controlled fashion. Imudan.
I don't know how many people I can carry. I've got Wolfwitch with me. I don't know if I can swoop down fast enough to also grab Everlast before she hits the ground.
What's your flight speed?
My flight speed is 3. I just don't know if I can carry both of them.
What's your strength?
My strength is also 3. So he didn't upgrade his strength. Actually, I think my strength is 4. I lied. It is 4.
All right, and these weight of 4 is a person. You'd have to make me a roll to see if you could manage to. The swooping down and catching her probably isn't a problem with your flight speed. You'd have to give me a strength roll to see if you could hang on to both of them, or if you wound up dropping somebody.
Or all of us crash into the ground. I'll give it a shot.
You manage to swoop down, grab Everlast with your free arm. You can't quite support the weight enough to fly with everybody, but you slow everybody down where you make a less than graceful landing. But it's a landing everybody can walk away from, so that makes it a good landing. And y'all are all on street level.
All right.
And then a few seconds later, little chinks of glass start raining down, or you start hearing the little tinkle of glass as it rains down around you.
We can make cool, dramatic-looking rolls as we hit the ground.
And then you stand up amongst all the sparkles of the falling glass.
Just don't look up. No one needs to be blinded today.
There doesn't seem to be very much jagged pieces. It may have been some kind of safety glass or something that, broke into little chunks as it rains down. Let's see. So as most of you have gotten to the ground, let's see. She would get out that turn. Yeah. So basically, a slap shot, which would be basically kind of the next round, but we're not exactly in combat at just a second. So slap shot, you get to the ground, and all of y'all kind of look up. You see the woman in the mask leaning out the open window. She does not seem to have any desire to jump after you, though. You just see her lean out, say something into that comm again, and then pull back in.
If she really wanted Everlast, she would have jumped.
We should probably go.
Yes.
You see people on the street have backed up away from you. A bunch of people have their cell phones out.
Slapshot covers up his face real quick with his hand and activates his hockey stick in the bag so his uniform comes on over it.
Yeah, what's our best chance for a quick getaway? Any chance of another? This be a good time for another maybe conjuring a portal in a alleyway.
Did we drive a car here?
Yeah, how did we get here? That's right. How did we get here? Didn't we take? We flew to the city. I remember that much.
I'm assuming we took a car.
Yeah. Let's
Who's got Uber on there?
I think you had rented a car that dropped you off. Or, hired a chauffeur or something.
Wolfwitch is gonna just take out a piece of chalk and start scrawling the runes on the ground for a teleportation spell.
Slapshot will announce to what groups they have. Hey, everybody. There's armored folk calling themselves sword saints up there, and they're human beings trying to kidnap superpowered human beings to make themselves rival the gods. Don't go in there. They're crazy. That's a Slapshot. Peace, y'all.
So
Slapshot's been a hero long enough that just saying this is Slapshot, you have a general understanding that he's probably not lying.
It's at least enough that a few people in the crowd at least recognize you.
Yeah, Slapshot has been a hero for a while.
Yeah.
Wolfwitch shouts out the name of the organization they're using as a front, just so they know specifically who's doing the naughty thing.
Yeah. I mean, like I kind of mentioned, I think that at this point, our best bet of getting the heat off us is to give them something to worry about, maintaining their cover.
Okay, so y'all are doing that talking for just the the little while it takes Wolfwitch to work a different spell. A lot of armed security have come out of the building. You do not see any of the sword saints themselves, though. And then Wolfwitch gets the, you see the security running up basically as Wolfwitch is finishing the portal spell. They have guns drawn, but there's so many people around that none of them actually fire.
All right,
outside
through the
their
door.
building, so
Through the door, children. Through the door. Come on.
They came
Everybody
out of
wave
the building
by.
pulling firearms on unarmed civilians. That's illegal. Bye, y'all.
As Slapshot's going to the portal, you hear somebody in the crowd yelling, "What's your team's name?"
We should all shout something different and see what comes.
My God, it's a repeat of season 1.
I was about to say, that's kind of how season 1 team wound up being called the Unknowns.
Oh.
I thought y'all had settled on a name for this team already.
I don't think we did. I mean, we know what we call
The
it.
characters didn't, I don't think.
And this is a
Yeah,
perfect
I think we
opportunity
will.
for one of the characters to shout the name y'all had already decided.
I was going to call it Imadan and his amazing friend.
And that's why you've already gone through the portal.
So what does Slapshot say?
We've not yet decided upon that. We've been kind of haunted.
Oh, like maybe he said hunted, and everyone misheard it as haunted.
We've kind of been hunted. It's escaping through the portal.
Alright, portal closes. Where was the portal going to?
Not straight to the bookshop, but in the general vicinity of it. Just like an alley a few miles away.
An alleyway that you know is generally empty. So y'all bloop out in that alley.
There's a dog and a cat who are having a heated argument who have now agreed. We're just gonna leave now.
Well, you thought it was a dog, and then you realized it was actually a rat. But anyway, it was just the size of a dog.
But the agreement stands. We getting away from this.
Well, that was a thrilling little adventure.
Are we sure they're not going to track us to your shop? I think your shop could be in danger.
I mean, they're welcome to try.
I don't know. They haven't exhibited any like real full-on spellcasters
We all
yet.
just ran away from what was basically 6 office workers and 4 punks with swords. We really should be making any bold statements right now.
Well, in my defense, I already have one cult chasing after me. I don't need a second. And secondly, I mean, we already learned that was in fact connected to the headsman, his crappy kidnapping operation. I don't know what we could, what else we could have learned from a big dragged out fight would have outweighed the danger to the possibility of getting into, like, you know, authority trouble and all the mess that would involve.
Yeah.
I mean, running out the building just came to me. That's what I'm trying to say.
It was a tactical decision.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have stood her far.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I plan on letting all of y'all leave and then just, phasing you out of the building.
Oh, I'll remember that next time.
Clearly, you need a team training session so you learn how to use those powers.
I was attempting to talk this situation down to where they wouldn't expect it, and they just run out. Because I can phase one person pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll remember that next time.
All right.
I was prepared to fight.
Oh, I was also prepared to fight. It's just easier to leave if you haven't.
All right. So from your alleyway, you manage to make your way back to the magic shop without any trouble. You've got some information from your little expedition.
Yeah, I mean, we have a big lead to investigate. I mean, we can see where else IGM is located, and that might tell us where else had something maybe, or where even potentially other captives maybe.
And we had a name for the headsman.
That too. Well, yeah, that's another thing we could try to find out.
You had the name of the guy that recognized Everlast walking out. You don't necessarily know that he's the headsman, though that is where your suspicions lie.
Mister, that was that Mr. Freeman or a different person? Or Vanderbly? Or is it Vanderbly?
Let me pull it up. Off the top of my head, I am forgetting. Let's see.
Vanderbly sounds more.
I thought, if I remember right, Freeman was a member of the group, and Vanderbilt was like a big donor or something.
That's right. He was a representative of a major donor.
Vanderbly, or however you say that, BYL name.
Oh, it's BYL?
Yeah. He worked for somebody that was a major donor. That was all the information you really got about him. You got it.
Well, we also know that it's an employer who owns several businesses, mostly manufacturing computers, some genetics, and electronic components, according to my notes.
But I don't think you ever actually got the name of the guy.
Not the employer, just the representative.
But yeah, you got whoever that guy was that was in the meeting before y'all. Yeah, you have his name.
Okay.
And he was the one that kind of eyeballed Everlast as he was leaving. So is there anything else y'all want to do the same day?
I suppose Wolfwitch will just get in touch with the Crucibles people and let them know what they've learned.
They thank you for the information. And they'll keep their ear to the ground if they hear anything else about this group. But
Might be a good idea to update Spear too.
Probably can't hurt.
I call Spear again.
well, are you calling
don't
Spear
have-
directly this time, or are you still calling the office of
Jordan Brain.
Jordan Brain? Okay. On a different burner phone or the same burner phone, or
You know what? I'm basically in the same area, so the same burner phone will be fine.
you get in contact with his office? Is there anything particular you want to ask him, or are you just going to give an info dump on what happened?
Just the info dump,
Okay.
which will be recorded in duplicate.
So you give that information.
Sorry. Recorded by duplicate in triplicate.
Right. He doesn't ask too many questions. He mostly just takes the information. Seth is turned on the TV, and within an hour, there's news reports of something happening at that office building. Well, another incident at that office building. They don't have any footage of your initial. Pardon?
Is that the same office we had the fight on?
Yeah, that's why you were investigating them. You were
Oh, yeah.
investigating. You were investigating businesses in that office.
I don't remember. It's been long enough. My brain cut that piece of information off.
Yeah.
I just blinked and we were in combat, and then blinked and we were out of it.
So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, news reports. Another incident. Nobody has footage of you actually coming out the windows. You've already landed by the. You're already all on the ground by the time they whipped out the cell phones and started recording. But they've got Slapshot's speech and has showing his costume erupting around him.
Can't wear that suit ever again in public.
They show they've got recordings of the security running out with the guns. Like I said, they didn't take any shots. They didn't threaten any civilians. So nobody seems making too big a fuss about that. At least not that the news covered. I mean, had they started shooting, well, they were, out of the building. They were protecting, there'd have been some repercussions for them. But the Sword Saint name causes them to reference the attack in Shreveport. Because I don't remember for sure. I'm going to assume one of your heroes would have dropped that name to the police since you were poking around in some of the Saints' heads. And they've got some footage of the suits from there. The official statement from IGM is that their office, that they were having a meeting, as one of their meetings was wrapping up. Several of those armored figures ran in, and there was a confrontation. They had been unaware that the people they were meeting with was apparently a team of heroes. The news switches over to one of the witnesses, presumably the one that shouted asking for your name. Sure enough, he misheard when you said something about being hunted. He misheard it. So he is reporting you as the haunted, and the name seems to be catching on. They don't quite know what to make of it. Emudon had his flaming wings. Seth was in full costume by the time he landed. Where the architect and Wolfwitch were in disguise the entire time, so there's debate as to was it all heroes, only some of them were in costume. were they working with somebody else?
I don't think Everlast really disguised herself that much. So I'll be curious if anyone manages to trace her to the Mystic Order she grew up in.
Well, that's the trick. She wouldn't have much of a footprint.
That's true. They probably would have taken care of that. The whole like homeschooling, stay out of
Homeschooling. You're not allowed on
being
Facebook.
off the radar. Right, exactly. Yeah, being off the radar is kind of a key feature of culty type orders.
So yeah, they're not sure who you are. Because so far you haven't done much that you would have been on camera.
Sure. Yeah, been mostly on keeping low on the run.
But IGM is passing it off as they were just the location of this weird attack. They don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
When they go to look for security footage, the footage has been destroyed. Like the room, the equipment that's kept on, somebody smashed it up, and they're like, it must have been one of the armored suited guys,
Convenient.
Well, their story is, hey, if you're gonna break in somewhere, you might want to wipe out the footage. Makes perfect sense. And clearly they weren't involved because you can look at this long record of good works they do. And they have donors come out, kind of, in their defense to anybody that is asking those kind of questions. It's like they are very much, very much on the defensive, or very much trying to control the spin the story takes. And then people are trying to puzzle together what the connection is between, this Egyptian exhibit being attacked and this charity organization. Or did they just jump, were they just after the Haunted who happened to be at the charity organization? And what was the super team doing there anyway? They have not released the name of the architect to or at least nobody in any news broadcast is mentioning the architect's name. Since she showed up as her, whatever her current identity is.
Still Pittman.
That could be spoiled now.
Right.
I don't think she went as... No, she did introduce herself as Sybil Pittman. Okay.
Yep. That's why I wrote Sybil Pittman down. The trick is somebody that's immortal is going to have some practice at making new identity, so...
Yeah.
Oh, shift all my money to accounts for the backup name.
Well, we know ultimately this the head of this whole rigmarole is the Haruspex, because that's who the headman said he was working for. So, what's the best way to try to stop these attacks from happening, or stop their pursuit of me? We think of a head-on confrontation, like straight to the Haruspex. First of all, we don't even know anything about the Haruspex, except the headsman said that was the benefactor.
Yeah, right now that's just a name you've got.
Yeah.
The headsman is still really your only lead as far as people go.
Right. Probably the most immediate threat, because he's the one who's doing the pursuing on behalf of the Haruspex.
Mm-hmm. And you know firsthand that he's fairly stout.
Oh, yes. Yes. Did we ever figure out like any kind of possible weakness we might be able to exploit for him?
I don't think y'all had specifically named anything.
It seems to me that like a lot of his power was being drawn from that scythe, or at least he was using it as a focusing item.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
tried
but
resting
Sora
it.
kept calling it a fake scythe.
Well, that was only the
I tried-
Slapshot said, I think, but or the
Right.
Slapshot say it out loud.
I think I said it once out loud.
Okay.
Punk ass fake scythe.
And I tried wresting it from him, but he's
Quite.
it's got a hefty grip. Yep.
Well, as far as a way to stop them from chasing you, I only see two options. One is to give you to them, or two, to dismantle their organization.
Well, I vote for 2 for fine.
Or 3, you could throw a living god at them and see how they deal with that.
Well, take your pick.
2, either he kills them or they kill it.
But where do you propose we get a living god?
Oh, I mean, there's not many left, but I'm sure you can find them.
I know we can find them, but I'd really prefer not to get that kind of attention, my friend Slapshot.
What's the worst that could happen? You die?
You really do not appreciate how petty gods can be, do you?
Oh, I perfectly appreciate how petty gods are.
Hey, now,
And,
you ever
and they
hang out with Monkey
frequently
King?
offer themselves as bait.
Y'all hung out with Monkey King for a little bit. He seemed cool enough.
Actually, Everlast, dear, do you have any place to sleep? A home? Anything like that?
Well, honestly, up until the invasion, I've been basically on the streets. I do have another cult chasing us. Have you ever heard of the Duff Dogs?
Have I heard of the Duff
Have
Dog?
we heard of
Anybody's got an occult skill can give me a roll.
the dogs? Alright, nope. I'm going to assume you have.
Yes, you have heard of the
Is
Death
it
Dogs.
Anubis?
That's right. Yeah. So, Anubis is. So I am the host of the champion Zansu, another ancient Egyptian champion. Probably from an earlier. Definitely from earlier era than the priest who is empowering Seth.
When you say that name, though, you notice Seth's head snaps up and his eyes flicker gold for just a second, and then he kind of shakes himself.
Oh, okay. Have you heard of her, Seth?
The old man has.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I don't know that. I don't think I know that. Yeah, but apparently, well, basically, her spirit was drawn from the realm of the dead, and Anubis has not approved of that departure. So his minions have been hunting after me. In fact, they almost they're the ones who destroyed my cult, right? My family, in fact. And so if I seemed a little skittish at the last fight and ducking out, that's why. To answer your question, though, no, I don't really have a place to stay anymore.
Well, I do have a few spare rooms here that you can stay at if you need to, dear. At the very least, it's safer than, say, sleeping on the streets or at a homeless shelter.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Thank you. And I don't know if you need any. Look, I'm good for it. I don't know if Seth is going to need some time off to deal with his new gig, but
Time off?
Well, I can, just, is there anything I could do, whatever I could do make up to repay you. I'm ready. I guess.
Oh,
Slapshot
I'm
one.
sure I'll
Ugh.
think of something.
Monetary value. Let's not get magic involved in this. It's just a name of a place. Don't need you to make a Fey contract to sleep on a bed. We can get you somewhere.
Oh, come on. You've got 2 souls. Just sell one of them. You'll be fine.
Well, one, I do not deal with the Fae. That is one headache I do not want.
No.
Two, I really shouldn't have said that.
Why? They just ask you, "Can I have your name?" And you go, "Yes, it's Silly Meringue Pie." And their name's Silly Meringue Pie for the rest of their existence. It's very fun to deal with the Fae sometimes.
They do not throw a party.
But yes, I do suppose I could use a little assistance around the shop. You will be compensated.
Sure, just yeah, I've never had a job before. Is that a problem?
No, it's fine. On the job training, after all. All that.
Yeah, really, carrying the mantle of Xanster is all I'm really prepared for my whole life.
What an unfortunate situation. Still, all we can do is make the best of what we're given. Yes?
Yes.
Thanks.
Starting to think Wolf Witch's magic shop has become the unofficial headquarters for the Haunted.
Sure.
It's shaping up like that.
It's sort of turning out that way.
It's turning out into like the mystical Xavier's home for gifted, for possessed mortals, for possessed youngsters.
Well, Seth doesn't live here, but
But to get back to the big problem, we actually tried to investigate the Harspit? I know we investigated that. We looked into IGN. Have we actually tried to
I want to say you were unable to find anything on that name specifically.
Okay. And what's the main was the New York headquarters the main headquarters of IGM?
I don't believe it was. No. No, they are international.
Do we know what? Do they even have a main headquarters?
You know, nothing that you found really spoke of one being bigger than any of the others. You know, New York was a major one. There was a major one in, I think, London or Paris, somewhere over there. I know y'all had looked into them and found out they were very much a global organization.
Is there any way we could maybe sneak into one of the other branches just to actually espionage on them, try to find out more? I mean, not even not even ourselves, and giving them the chance for an ambush. Is that a possibility? Not that I'm the sneaky type by any means.
Yeah, you could absolutely, find the address to another office and teleport into that city.
I
spy
think
on them. I don't know if you have the skill set for spying, but
Right. If only I had my other character here. If only I had written up my character yet, my espionage character yet. Oops.
Yeah, if we could get a hacker in there to look in their system for Vanderbilt and get more information on him, that would be a good lead. But
you can always investigate his name on your own as well, to the best of your ability.
Imadan can't even use a computer.
Well, do we want to try that next? And find out exactly who his employer is? Because
Yeah, that'd work.
yeah, the employer does sound pretty. It certainly seems like the makings of the evil corporation, manufacturing computers, genetics, electronic components. Seems to be a good background for evil super organization.
If it's genetics, it's evil.
That's a good super. Yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe that's what we do next. Find out who he works for.
All right. So who's going to do the investigating, and how are y'all going to go about investigating this guy?
Oh, that's a good question. The only other thing I could think of is if I do have. I don't know if this will be helpful for this particular question, but just in general, I do. There are resources back at the Temple of Kebashet. Of course, I haven't figured out. I don't think I've yet. Oh, do I know the normal way to get there besides almost dying? I know it's. There's a performance limit to access the headquarters. I don't know if we'd established whether she already knew the ritual or whatever the performance was that grants her access to that. Of course, every time I go there, I risk getting spotted by Anubis. So maybe that should be a last resort kind of thing. Now that I think about it.
It'd be reasonable to say that when you were there, the folks in the base would have instructed you on how to get here.
Okay, cool.
Without having to go get yourself beat up every time.
Right, but like I said, it's always a danger every time I sneak off there. So, well, I'll keep that in my pocket for now. I think. As far as I'm not a dummy, but again, I'm also not really vested in the ways of the world, or
may not be tech savvy just due to lack of having interacted with it much.
Yeah, I mean, I might be able. I'm sure I could use. But again, growing up in a mystic order, that wasn't really what I was focused on preparing for.
Yeah, she's a teenager. She can instinctively use a smartphone.
I'll just friend his boss on Instagram.
Yeah, maybe we could just pawn some of this research off onto Seth. Have the NPC deal with it.
It's a cheat and the logical course of action at the same time. Given that we have a retired hockey pro.
Yup, what up?
Seth's I'm still on the clock. All right.
Right. What about? What's Architect's? Can she?
She has the quality thrill of discovery, and we've established that she's pretty, if not well connected, very rich. So she might have the resources to justify using thrill of discovery as a research bonus.
Yeah, maybe she's the logical person to be the front for our investigation.
And let's face it, she's watched Full Metal Alchemist, so that means she's probably smart enough to torrent anime. She knows how to use a computer.
All right, give me an intellect roll for the architect then.
Ooh.
That's not a bad difficulty.
And that's with the +2 from tapping the quality. And that should be for architect.
Okay. So yeah, that's a massive success. Yeah. She has no trouble finding Vanderbly's his name, who he works for. It's not that he's got a huge presence online or anything, but he's been associated with this guy for long enough that his name is out there. He works for a man by the name of let's see, Aman Sphynx.
Yeah,
lots of
not at all suspicious.
Lots of Egyptian things running around.
That certainly sounds suspicious.
Guy's an international, business tycoon, basically. He owns, he owns those businesses that you were told about. He does own businesses involved in all that. He is a big-time science and technology guy. He has PhDs in most of the subjects his company deal with. He's known to do some of the technological research himself in some of the companies. Just a general all-around scholar. Doesn't seem to have too many skeletons in his closet.
Are there interviews? Do we spot any interviews, or does the architect spot interviews where he gives off that, humanity must elevate itself kind of vibe, that kind of grandiose kind of I could be a god if I wanted to vibe?
He is something of a futurist. So he does talk about, getting humanity to the stars, He does talk about, humanity's bright future, and how our intellect let us overcome anything. Nothing that takes on the kind of quasi-religious vibe that some of these guys have had. It's more like listening to anybody that's into tech when they start talking about what we might be able to do in the future, If we could get to the stars, if we could get to, this or that technology that would revolutionize. There's one interview where he talks about just wanting to be able to do things as interesting as Star Trek.
The name is certainly suspicious, but are you sure he's our guy?
I mean, seems to be our best bet.
Does
Imodan, I
Mr.
must inform you of something about superheroes. Found someone. It's probably the guy. I've been in this business a number of years. You'd be surprised how few times you get the wrong man when they've got a name like that.
Does Mr. Dr. Sphynx, whatever Sphynx, does he have a home? Does he claim a home, a particular place where he, is he a man of the world?
He has a fairly large mansion in the Seattle area. He has an apartment overlooking, or a penthouse overlooking Central Park in New York. He has a ranch in Arizona.
So is he a U.S. citizen?
He is. He has a dual citizenship. The U.S. and Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I really thought it was gonna be Canada.
I was sure.
I mean, I'm glad we did make money bets.
Yeah,
Basically, his mother was from the U.S. His father was from, was already a well-to-do businessman in Egypt. But he basically took the father's business and just kind of ballooned it up into this huge series of businesses from all around the world.
Oh, all right. All in favor of kicking down this man's front door and shaking him until answers fall out. Raise your hand.
I've kind of a reputation of not doing that, so I'm
Okay.
not to raise my hand.
Everlast shot her hand up.
I mean, I can get you a different sports jersey and, a hockey mask.
Oh, a hockey mask, yeah.
Henceforth, you'll be known as the Puck. Oh wait, there's already a puck.
And then Canada sues you.
The hero identifying himself only as not Slapshot. Seen beating a billionaire with a hockey stick.
Wait. I'm sorry. He's an American billionaire.
Yes, and an Egyptian billionaire.
Oh, never mind. Let's just go. He can afford an ass beat.
Think of the story he can tell at parties later. All right, now nothing in what the architect finds really tells you where he's at, like right now. You know, he's got at least those 3 homes in the U.S. You know, he has estates in other parts of the world.
Do we know where he will be? Like, is he slated to appear at any, like, charity balls or bullshit like...
Let's see. She rolled a 12, so... not for several weeks.
I suppose we pick a house and start ransacking.
Alright, which estate do you want to go after? One of the foreign ones? Or one of the ones in the U.S.?
Ooh, what are the foreign ones?
Do what now?
I don't think he listed the foreign ones. He just mentioned.
I just mentioned that he had some, you know. He's
Yeah.
got somewhere in
I think-
Egypt.
The ranch. Was that in Arizona?
Yeah.
The ranch?
That's right.
And
Are there?
the penthouse in New York.
Yes, on the Seattle mansion. Are there any locations of his that in countries where with perhaps not as vigorous regulatory oversight or law enforcement as the United States? Something where what country seems likely to be able to establish a supervillain headquarters and get away?
Well, let's see. He's got...
Not that you can't do that in the States, of course, but
He's got a spot in Paris. He's got a spot in Cairo. He's got a spot in Monaco.
Does he have a spot in Jerusalem?
Not that comes up in the... And you don't know, you don't know how many of these are, that, what he actually uses, how many of these are actually technically owned by the businesses.
That just seemed like if they're really targeting religious stuff, that would be a good city. That in Cairo.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw my hat in for the one in Cairo.
my parents are from Egypt. I've never been, of course, but it seems that the only other candidate to me would be the Arizona ranch, just because it will be isolated. But as far as theological import, yeah, Cairo seems to be a really good first choice, I think.
All right, so y'all go.
Yeah.
So y'all are going to Cairo.
Yeah, you just have to watch out for the government there. That's why my parents left there in the first place. They don't take kindly to fringe religious organizations there.
Hold up, Slapshot says. Opens up a little black book. All right. Checks his phone real quick. Calls the International Hero Association that covers Egypt.
Oh.
They are. The U.S. is the only place that's really got an official team put together.
And that was just recently.
Right, but because previously in the world building, all the other nations of the world at least acknowledged heroes, which means there would be some form of there's someone going, here's all the people we got. You're not just gonna go, yeah, they exist, and then not look at them.
Let's see. In the U.S., they pretty much ignored them. But that was a conscious decision. They just go after any of them they got kind of, any of them that cause problems they'd go after. But because anytime they would try to clamp down on them, the villains would run amok.
Oh,
and it just also be cheaper to let the heroes handle it.
Yeah. Also, I I really need to actually submit this, but one of my organizations was going to be basically like a political action group for supers. That was going to be my explanation for why the governments have been relatively hands off all these decades. So that would have been a factor too, at least in the United States.
Okay.
But all right, just seeing if I have any contacts in Cairo. Anyone in the Egypt area I know. Ain't likely. I've mostly been a U.S. guy, but
Egypt does not have an official government team, but there are one or two heroes over there that their government has, dealt with. When there's been an emergency big enough that they had to call somebody in.
so there's no official organization for me to call and say, "Hey, I will be in Cairo for a bit."
Yeah, they don't have the equivalent of a spear. You could alert the government itself, but most foreign governments are not particularly fond of foreign supers running around.
Especially in the U.S.
Yeah. But China's got an official team. The EU is in the process of adopting one, and then of course the U.S. has spear.
Well, darn. Oh well, I tried.
You at least checked to see if there were official channels.
Yep. Been in this business long enough. I don't want to take unnecessary annoyances.
Oh, come on.
Sure.
You'd cause one little international incident. What are they going to do? Send the Primus after you?
Yes, 'cause it's a rich Egyptian billionaire.
Alright, so I assume y'all are going to portal over to Egypt?
Sure.
Are y'all going in costume or y'all in plain clothes this time?
Well, if we're adopting the kick in the front door approach, I'd say that calls for costumes.
I think so too.
Okay. You get yourselves to the general area. It's a very nice house. I have no idea what nice houses look like in Egypt these days, so... I'm assuming something with high ceilings and, large windows, but... it is walled off, which is not unusual from what you can see of the surrounding estates. There is a guard presence. Got a very gated community kind of vibe to it.
How heavily armed are the guards?
They're carrying assault rifles.
Fun.
Again, not as best not super unusual in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Hi there, we're the Haunted. Here, our card.
I'm all for casting invisibility on everybody and just sneaking in. I mean, it's worked pretty damn well so far.
They have guns. Oh, everybody get invisible.
Everybody hold hands. All right. So you arrived, I'm going to say, just a little ways outside of this place. Like I said, it is walled. There are closed gates. The gates are manned, and you've got people patrolling the inside of the wall. All that you can kind of see from the street.
Alright, so Slapshot.
Yo,
You
what
can
up?
phase yourself and other people through walls, right?
Potentially.
How many can you do at a time?
That's a question I ain't really answered there.
Okay. Here's my suggestion. I make everyone invisible, We do the whole line leader trick, get as close to the compound as we can, and you phase us through one at a time. We reform the line and get into the compound proper the same way.
Slapshot is visibly like, super sure on that one. Out of all of my powers, the phasing is the most finicky. It goes in and out.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Someone gets stuck in the wall and they die a horrible screaming death, the likes of which have only been seen by a handful of people throughout human history, and I'm certainly not one of them.
No, I tend to always make it through, and then I just lose focus and can't access it again.
And disappointingly, if it does happen this time, we'll all be invisible, so you still won't see it.
You guys think I say weird things? I can most certainly get us through. It's just whether or not I can do it a second or third or fourth time.
Well, if we end up getting cut off, then at that point maybe then we can just adopt the
rather than
force approach.
phase through the wall. We could. Several of us can fly. If we could pick a marker on the other side of the wall to meet at, we could fly over that wall invisibly.
That'll work. Still want to get us into the house proper, but
you're a step closer.
At least put
closer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I vote for that plan.
All right. Now, which ones of y'all can actually fly?
I can.
And while you have the big fiery wings, those aren't actually required for that, are they?
They are not.
Okay. I was thinking that was just a style thing he liked to do.
Just like to mess with people.
That is actually, I think, the only flyer on the team.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to have him carry us over one at a time.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Slapshot can do the wall walking, so.
And I am super strong. Like, hold on, let me double check.
So yeah, if he carried two of you and Umadon carried one person, that gets everybody over, so.
I mean, we ought to be able to pick a tree or something on the other side of the wall that we could meet at.
How much? Hold on. I'm going to have to look up average car weight.
And you know, Ibadan has flight level of 3. And if we want to say that he can fly at a 1 without his wings and a 3 with him, that's fine.
If you didn't purchase the limitation on it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's just a thing he does when he wants to be dramatic.
If we found a way to distribute the team, you could make us invisible, and I could just carry all of you over.
Oh, you're that strong.
Round about 3,000 pounds is the most upper limit of my strength. Yes.
That's pretty strong.
That's genuinely impressive.
Thank you. And I can do that without the hockey stick. Now. Couldn't before.
It's possible that some of its energy is seeping into your very, very essence, changing you permanently on a primal level.
Oh yeah, I was already warned about that. But it's been, half a lifetime. Well, not half a lifetime. It's been 30 years about now. I'm gonna be dead before it finishes any kind of change.
I pity that.
Breathing and sleeping.
I mean, I could help you get around the whole death thing if you want, just to see how far it goes. But that's neither here nor there. We need to get into the into
Do
the
y'all want to be
place.
invisibly carried or flown over? That's really the gist of this.
I'll go with carried.
Alright, to be invisible, we'll have to carry the person that makes us invisible. Which is...
Wolfrich.
Exactly. The person I'm speaking to. So does anyone else want to be invisibly walked over a wall? And also, for limitation's sake, how tall is the wall?
Oh, it's like a 9-10 foot wall. It's not massive.
Easy.
You know, it's really more of a privacy thing, you know. Alright, so it sounds like y'all got a plan to get everybody over pretty quickly.
Yep.
Y'all get over
Unless it's
invisible, y'all meet up at this
electrically
tree. You know, you kind of spot where the patrolling guards are. And they're not lax, but it's not like they're walking around super alert. You know, they're not on guard like they're expecting something just any time now. You know, the ones at the gate tend to be smoking. Once inside, you see a couple of workers that are, you know, tending to what little bit of greenery there is. You know, clearly, I mean, it's an estate. There's people here to keep it up, in addition to just the security. So how do y'all plan on approaching the house, or getting into the house?
Well, since I'm not having to carry you all at once, I could, you know, bulk up and phase through.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, let's just go to a door that's not very guarded, and when they're not paying attention, we can have Slapshot phase through, and he can open the door from the other side. And we just slip in.
I'm going to look up phasing real quick to make sure I can do that fancy nonsense. I'll get there in a bit. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's something like stuff you can carry.
Yeah, I think I'll have to burn a determination point to phase others.
Yeah, looks like it. On the other hand, if you want to just walk through the door, turn around and open the door, you could probably do that.
I'll be visible for just that moment.
Well, your phasing wouldn't do anything to the invisibility, would it?
It shouldn't.
I'd have to disconnect from the person. Oh wait.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah, it's a beam. It's built as a beam, so I can just point at you and you're invisible until I end the spell.
The hand holding wasn't to make the invisibility work. It was so y'all didn't lose each other.
Oh, well, okay then. Yeah, we walk up.
Y'all walked through a town the first time y'all did that.
I'll phase through the door, open it then.
Okay. It opens, no problem.
Alright, cool. Let's roll some dice.
What are you rolling dice for?
My limitation on it.
Oh, yes, the burnout.
Get a roll of die on a 1 or a 2. The power stops working for the rest of the chapter.
Roll a d6.
Eh. Still got it.
Yep. Okay. So you were all grouped. You went to one of the side doors that opened up. It turns out it opened up into the kitchen. The door was locked, but there's not. It's not like there was an alarm set to it, during the day at least. And it opens from the inside without any trouble. So, are y'all going to maintain the invisibility in the kitchen?
Probably wouldn't hurt.
All right, give me coordination rolls to see if y'all can all, if 5 people can move around this area invisible without bumping into things.
Crap.
What's in the kitchen?
Dinah.
Oh, that would be an 8 for the architect.
Okay.
She has a stealth specialty.
Oh, neat. Okay, well.
Oh, do we add stealth?
Yes, you can add stealth.
Oh, never mind. I don't have it.
Well, if you had it, you could have added it. So yeah, y'all managed to stay relatively quiet. There is, it's an estate's kitchen. It's fairly large. There's all the things you would expect. Everything seems to be packed up though. There's not like a lot of stuff laying out for immediate use.
Well, just because he's not here right now doesn't mean there isn't something shady still going on at the place.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, the fact that everything's packed up seems to indicate that this isn't really a regularly used residence, and therefore, what else is it actually being used for?
Well, he has at least 6 or 7 residences around the world, so
Maybe
how many
he
of
just
them can he live
hasn't
at
gotten
any
around
one
to it
time? He's just ready to live wherever he happens to be at. All right, so what are y'all looking for in this man's house? This innocent man whose home you're getting ready to ransack.
I mean, if I were to have like potentially captive superhumans, I'd keep him in the basement.
Or stolen artifacts.
That too.
So yeah, I suppose we should start looking for secret passages and shit.
Search for secret doors.
Alright. Let me pull up a character sheet so I can remember exactly what all...
$20,000 gold, dagger +1.
Alright, that would be awareness checks. Awareness rolls, rather. I can't think off the top of my head of a specialty that would necessarily help you. If you've got a specialty that you think would, go ahead and bring it up. All right. And the difficulty is +3. Alright, who all beat a 7?
I believe I do.
It looks like you may have been about it.
Nope.
Really? Okay.
Alright. So y'all are all looking around, and he's got Egyptian artifacts on display in the house. Nothing that jumps out at you is hinky, just, he's got money. He's also got art and all kinds of stuff hanging on the walls. You notice everything is well dusted, everything's kept up. Clearly there's a regular, even though may not be living here regularly, he's clearly got a staff that keeps the place up. You don't see any signs. What was that, Taylor?
A magical staff?
Most of you don't see any sign of a basement as far as an actual basement door or whatever. Who was the? Oh, it was Everlast. Everlast, you notice a blank section of wall that there's a lot of stuff hung on the walls around here, and this is just it just strikes you as an unusually large section of empty space.
Okay. I will try just like pressing ever so slightly to see if there's some kind of like panel mechanism that would activate a door of some kind.
Okay. You poke around a little bit, and yeah, sure enough, you find a spot that sinks in slightly.
Okay.
And this, a door size, something kind of pops loose.
I think I found something, guys.
And when you open it up, it looks like it'd be a fairly normal doorway down into a basement. It's like they slightly recessed it in the wall so they could have that little panel cover it.
Mm. There is a basement. Oh, I'll go. I'm happy to head out first. Do we need a order?
Okay. The door down to the basement is locked, though it looks like it's a regular mundane lock, not a. You don't see any security keypads or handprint things or anything like that.
I'll make sure that we close that one door behind us.
Okay.
So if it's not a pick locks, or should we just force our way through?
Define picking a lock.
Well, it doesn't seem like. Oh, well, that's a good point. You could just do your. Well, I don't know how often you want to keep utilizing the phasing power. You said it was it's prone to shorting out.
Can do that.
We could just knock the door down if we're not worried about making too much noise.
Yeah, I guess that's the first thing.
I say the architect just turns it into air.
That would be smarter.
Yeah, architect. That's right.
So the architect just steps up to it and does her little thing.
Yep.
Which you couldn't see what I was doing, but everybody else could.
We understood. I understood what it was.
So yeah, she steps up, claps her hands together, then slams the palms against the door, and it just vanishes.
All right.
The metal doorknob drops to the ground and bounces down the stairs.
Is it lit at all down here?
There is a light switch on the inside. What would have been the inside of the. Once you open the door, there's a light switch on the side. It is not. None of the lights are currently on, though.
Well, if we can't see under here, I'll go ahead and flip a switch.
Okay.
Hope that doesn't
You
activate
get kind of
anything
the
else.
thump of like overhead fluorescent lights coming on.
Mm.
And now there's a lot of light coming. Obviously it's brightly lit down here. As you go down the stairs, assuming you go down the stairs.
Sure.
What you see down here seems to be a laboratory of some kind, or workshop, or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
Most of the equipment has plastic over it. Like you would throw over furniture if you were going to be out of the house for a long, long time. Or, a few months. Just keep dust off of it. The lab is not real dusty. It is dustier than the rest of the house, implying that the regular, maids or whatever, housekeepers don't come down here.
And we start taking phone pictures.
Yep.
Does anybody on this team have any technology skill?
Not it.
We're magic.
Nope.
Well, you don't see anything that appears magical. Everything looks like it's tech-based. It looks like it's mostly electronics. He's got a CC machine. He's got a variety of 3D printers, lots of computer stuff.
starting to wonder if we haven't just uncovered the Haruspecs' biggest weakness, in that they don't seem to be magically enabled at all.
Or you're after an innocent man. It could go either way.
Well,
He's got a secret lab. Let's calm down on Innocent.
he's doing something wrong.
If you have a lab you're not willing to tell other people to clean and you're a billionaire, you're doing something a little
Or
green.
as you pointed out, his name was what, Aman? So he's got to be evil.
Whoa. No, it's just... we have something dealing with, Egyptian folklore and mythos and their gods. What's this dude's name?
Sphinx, which is from Greek
Aman
mythology,
Sphynx.
which is from Greek mythology, not Egyptian.
Oh, that is fair.
Sphynx.
Oh, wait, what did you say? I thought I heard Sphinx too. Was that not the case?
I've been running off Sphynx this whole time.
Yeah, that's his name.
I have to. Okay.
It's spelled a little funny, but yeah.
Um,
I'm just saying the
Wolfwitch
Sphinx
is
is
going
from Greek mythology, not Egyptian mythology. The Egyptians never called that monument the Sphinx. That's what the Greeks called it when they came through.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Wolfwitch is gonna throw up a detect magic spell, and see if she can't find anything else that's hidden behind an extra secret wall or some shit.
Alright. Nothing down here in the lab is showing up as magical.
All right.
So, are y'all going to search the lab, real closely, or y'all just going to take a quick look around?
I mean, we might as well search it.
Okay.
Yes, I'm particularly curious about it. The captives, besides myself, if anyone actually did get captured.
Give me an awareness roll. While y'all are doing that, I need to run off. I'll be right back.
We've got just under an hour left here. We might be heading for another big cliffhanger at this point.
The secret is if he needs to always stop us at the beginning of a fight, we just keep finding ways to leave the fight. That way, we never actually have to deal with his characters.
It'll just be a big chase series. Well, I was hoping we'd be able to figure out some good way to take on Headsman, since he is so tough.
Headsman's not that tough.
Okay. Were you the one who created the Headsman? I assume this is one of our characters, right?
I fought him hand to hand, but the problem was he has an ability that cancels other abilities. So I just had to walk up there and with base prowess try to hit him. And my character's base prowess isn't that high.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when I land a blow, I have a bunch of extra abilities stacked behind it, so I can punch through a mountain if I can hit it. I couldn't hit the Headsman.
Yeah, I was having a problem too.
But if you have a pylon, then there's bonuses, and I didn't use any determination points because he'd already canceled out powers. So he can stop you from getting a big hit in a one-on-one, but we haven't seen him be able to stop multiple people at the same time. So chances are, in a dog pile, we can probably take him.
Okay. I think maybe I was just rolling poorly in that initial fight, because it seemed like everything I tried to do was just barely miss. That's fair.
All right, so you had to beat a 9, or need to beat a 9. Every last minute, the Architect and Wolfwitch both beat it. And the other two did not. So Emodon is looking at all the tech stuff that he doesn't have a clue what it does. But, it's something new. He hasn't seen this kind of stuff before. It looks expensive,
It looks sinister.
The rest of you... Well, Slapshot's the same way. He's, seeing all this tech equipment. And really not anything that would relate to the supernatural or religious aspects of kind of what y'all looking into.
Just the robot people.
Well, those were techie. Though you haven't seen anything around here that screams robots.
Fair enough.
The rest of you find another one of those little hidden panels on one wall. It's a little harder this time because most of the wall space down here is blank. But this time, when you press it, it just slides open a small square like that. And there is a keypad and handprint, or hand scanner.
So, Architect, can you use your ability to feel how far something is?
No, I do not believe so.
Oh, darn.
But I can use my ability to just chip away at a wall until I get to where I need to go.
Right, but we don't know if this opens up a wall or not.
Yeah.
We could knock on the walls and see if we hear anything hollow. Not sure how well that'll work, but...
What is the possibility of me turning into a wolf and being able to tell which keys were pressed by scent alone? That at least would give us like a starting point.
Well, you'd have to have a hand as well.
Oh, right, crap. I thought it was just a keypad. Damn it.
And anyway, given how long this place seems to have been shut down...
It would smell like dust.
Yeah, it probably not.
What about a detect electricity spell? Like I could follow the conduit, could follow the power conduits to whatever this thing opens up or activates.
That you might be able to do.
Alrighty, trying to aim for 7.
Okay. Alright, well, you max that out, so you definitely have the detect going on.
And can I follow... Am I sensing the power lines?
Yes, there's a massive electricity here in the panel. There's, a larger amount of electricity that kind of runs... Let's see, y'all are in a basement, so I guess it would run up kind of into the house. That you figure is the actual power conduit to this thing. But there are smaller wires or whatever that seems to run. It runs, like if this is the panel, it kind of runs over here and then it kind of goes up and around something. And then there's 2 somethings that it splits off to. That would be about where door hinges would be. So you've kind of got
I
this.
point at it and
yeah.
I point at it and tell Architect to get rid of it.
She does her thing, and you've got a doorway there.
Magic!
Got a secret lab within a secret lab.
This is just a treasure trove of unknowable horrors.
This appears to open up into more of a storage area.
What is in the storage area?
The first thing you notice is this almost skeletal-looking arm laying on a table.
Oh, nice.
I don't like that.
When you flip on the lights into this room, because again, it's got a light switch, you realize that it is not. It's not like a bone or a mummy's arm or anything. It's like robotics pieces laid out.
Mm.
Huh.
Are those swords saying cyborgs?
You were pretty sure that from what you've seen, they seem to just be guys in armor.
Okay.
So this one table had like robotic parts. You start looking at some of the rest of the stuff, and it looks more like kind of exoskeleton kind of stuff. Kind of like what the military is experimenting with, and I know the Japanese are experimenting with it for medical purposes to help the elderly get around. A lot of what's stored in here almost looks like real world tech, truthfully. But as you get deeper into it, it starts to look more and more, get more and more past what the real world would produce. But even without a tech skill, though, you figure you're looking at a lot of prototypes and stuff. Proofs of concept, that kind of thing.
Nothing overtly nefarious yet.
I mean, the dude has a secret basement where he's working on exoskeletons. That's some supervillain shit. He's a supervillain, at least.
It's a lot of expensive equipment, and he's not here all that often, so he hides it. Yeah, this makes sense.
We could just burn his lab down and leave.
I don't quite see why we would do that. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we've managed to come this far undetected. If we burn down one of his mansions, it's probably gonna set off a whole lot of alarm bells that someone's onto him about something. Might not be the right something, but it's something.
And I really don't want to draw any attention from the local authorities here. Like,
Not
really.
to mention the fact that the death dogs are based out of Egypt, so...
Yep. But I don't know. I'm starting to think that this might... At least this place seems to be clean. I mean...
Yeah. Wanna try the one in Arizona? Or Nevada?
That would be my next guess. If there's something that this guy wanted to hide in the middle of Arizona, seems like a good place to do it.
Yep.
Alright, so y'all gonna port lap?
Yep.
One moment you're in the basement of a house in hot and arid Egypt. And then the next moment you're standing outside in hot, arid Arizona. The environment really doesn't seem all that different. And you are a few miles from his ranch. Unlike some of his other estates, this one has a large amount of property with it. Because, it's Arizona. There's lots of empty space.
Yeah. I say we just do the exact same entry plan that we did before.
Sure.
Okay. This estate also has a few guards wandering around. They've got sidearms. They are not packing assault rifles. It's a ranch. There are some cattle. There are people taking care of the cattle. A lot of them have kind of a cowboy motif going on. I mean, not like overdone, put on, but they're wearing boots. They're wearing the big hat.
Yeah, no chaps.
Yeah, because they're actually riding horses and stuff as they're messing around with the cattle. But as far as armed guards, this place does not seem to be as heavily guarded as the Cairo. estate. So y'all said you were approaching the house the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is not walled off. There's fences to keep, the cattle at bay, but there's not like locked gates or anything right now. So you walking invisible, you managed to get Oh, actually, give me stealth checks because it is very dusty. You could potentially leave footprints.
Oh no.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Stealth is just it by itself.
Yeah, stealth would be coordination plus the stealth specialty if you had.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. And the guards here are not paying much attention. Okay. So while y'all may leave prints, they don't really notice it. And once you get right up at the house, the ground's fairly packed.
You said the ground's fairly packed, as opposed to the place itself, like packed with people. Is that correct?
Yeah, the ground's packed down.
Oh, gotcha.
Where a little bit further out into the yard, you'd be leaving footprints. But, are you going to do the same thing of stepping through the door and opening it? Slap shot.
Sure.
Alright, you step through. Give me a roll for your burnout.
Eat. Burns out.
Alright.
Ah.
You feel that familiar feeling of yep. I think I've used that all I'm going to. But you turn around, you open the front door without any trouble. Everybody slips in.
I inform them I'm out for the day on phasing.
That's unfortunate. Oh, hopefully this is the last place we'll have to break in.
There is activity in this house. You hear noise elsewhere in the house. You hear some dishes clattering, that sort of thing.
So there's a non-zero chance he's actually here.
Yes, there's a non-zero chance he's actually here. This place does not look like it's packed up,
Or at least the staff are allowed to use the kitchen.
One or the other.
Oh yeah, I suppose search for secret entrances and creepy basements and all that fun shit.
You find what appears to be a basement entrance without too much trouble. Give me stealth roll. Are y'all staying invisible while you're searching the house?
That would probably be a good decision.
Alright. Give me stealth checks then, though. It's basically so that you don't bump into each other while y'all are poking around.
Oh no.
Hey, you know what? Way better than last time.
Alright, so Alright, so the architect bumps into somebody. There's a slight oomph. And, a second later you hear somebody steps out of the kitchen and kind of just pokes their head in the room, glances around, it doesn't say anything, goes back what they were doing. Like they thought they heard something, but it wasn't loud enough that they were really sure. You find what you're pretty sure is a basement entrance pretty quickly. This one is not hidden, but it's got a very high-tech lock on it.
I suppose the architect will just poof it away.
Alright, so the door goes...
I cannot wait to see what the infrared cameras see.
And well, it's fortunate that whoever poked their head in the kitchen didn't hear one of us go, "Will you stop touching me?"
Let's see. So yeah, stairs down. But when you get down there, the stairs they don't really end in a room per se. It's a hallway.
I don't like that.
It's already lit. As you start down, there are side rooms that have lots of I think about how to describe the equipment. Lots of manufacturing equipment. You know, not something where you'd be producing something on a large scale. And none of you are tech savvy enough to really recognize, you know, specifically what some of this stuff is. But but as you move further down the hallway, it starts branching off. Like there's an entire complex up under here. You're pretty sure by the time you get to the end of this main hallway, first hallway, you're pretty sure you'd be out from under the house.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Could be a problem. Could be a problem. And you hear people speaking in the distance and commotion. You know, not. You hear things going on. Some people are clearly working down here doing something.
I suppose the only way forward is forward. Trying to be as quiet as possible.
As you
I'm
move
assuming
forward,
the
you start
hallway only went one direction.
from the entryway y'all came down. Yes.
Okay.
Once you got to that end, it kind of splits off a few different ways.
Let's see what they're doing.
You start seeing some people in lab coats. Some guys are standing around talking about tolerances. You know, you run into another few people that are standing around talking about energy outputs. You know, it all sounds like technical jargon to y'all. But then you hear one of them say, "Well, he needs to get back to the range and see how they've been doing." And he starts heading off down one of the hallways.
I suppose we let him slip past and then we jump him.
All right, so y'all follow this guy until he's out of sight of everybody else. Now, y'all gonna follow him to where he's going, or y'all gonna jump him in the hallway?
Jump him in the hallway.
All right. What exactly are y'all going to try to do? Are you just going to pop him and knock him out? Or are y'all going to try to walk up and, you know, clamp a hand over his mouth? What are you doing? And who's doing it?
Clamp a hand over his mouth.
All right, who's going to do that?
Who's the physical? I think Slapshot is the physically strongest of us.
Or Everlast.
Or Everlast. Everlast is physical too.
Yeah. Plus, Slapshot has a hockey. Well, then again, the hockey stick could be used to hold someone back. I guess I'll do it. Well, yeah, I'll do it because my hands are free. Also,
right.
this is kind of my thing.
And you've got wrestling, which will help you with this.
That too, yes.
I'm just athletic.
All right, so give me a. Well, this would be prowess. Versus
would this be wrestling?
Yes, you would get to use your wrestling.
Sweet.
Let me see. What's a? Let's see. I thought we had scientist in here somewhere. Did we not? Well, physically he'd be a bystander, so. All right, so you got a massive success. So yeah, and with your enhanced strength, he's not he's not going to do much. You manage to clamp both arms
Okay.
to his side and slap a invisible hand over his mouth. Though I think you become visible once you start interacting with people like this.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll just say, don't struggle. We're not going to hurt you.
You can see where his eyes get kind of wide as he's trying to look back and see who's got him. What do you want?
Don't struggle and don't make noise. I should have said.
Okay. No, he gets quiet. He's obviously frightened by what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I'll say, what are you working on here?
Well, I really don't have to talk about it.
Okay, maybe I should. Okay, I'll just say I'm going to uncover your mouth and quietly tell me what you're working on here.
I just said.
Okay.
I'm really not supposed to talk about it, but
I won't tell anyone. Don't worry.
No, we're just working on some technologies. Some of the guys are working on armor plating. Some of us are working on how would he put it? Energy weaponry that we could sell to the military or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I will ask where the superhuman studies are. If not here, where are they?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There, I know. What's the name of this company again?
I don't think
we didn't actually.
Underground Lab Inc.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever gave you any of the names of the guy's actual companies.
Acme.
The organization the headsmen belonged to was the Pantheon. That's what they were calling themselves. I don't know if that's the name you want to drop for this guy or not.
Well, just the name of Aman Sphynx's public company.
Okay.
Sphynx Tech or whatever.
He actually owns multiples. They're not all under the umbrella of one.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll say that I know Aman Sphynx does genetic research. Where is that?
He's not really involved with that. He thinks they've got a facility in California, maybe.
Do we recall mention of any California facilities in our prior research?
If you looked at the individual companies, yeah, most of them had some kind of, at least offices in California.
Hmm. All right. Does anyone else have any questions to ask? Just whisper in my ear. Then he won't know that there's more than one.
Anybody else?
Honestly, it seems like he's told us pretty much everything he knows.
Yeah, I'm getting a sense of that too. I guess I could ask: Are you working on battle suits here? Because I'm kind of curious where the sword saints are getting their armory from. Are you working on battle armor here?
He's like, no, that'd be ridiculous. You can roll a willpower if you'd like to see if he's telling you the truth.
Yeah, I'll get that. Probably is, but it's worth backing that up with actual. Like you generated an 11.
All right. Oh, he fails abysmally. You go, are you working on battle suits? You see his eyes get wide. No, that'd be ridiculous.
Oh, okay. If he says when he says no, I say, "Are you sure about that?" And I start listing off like the specific, I guess the specific everything I know about the Sword Saint armor, just to give him the sense that I really know what. You may as well just tell me now.
Give me an intimidation roll, which would be another willpower plus if you've got intimidate or something.
Not specifically.
Okay, just a willpower roll then. Need to beat a 6.
I did that.
Oh, yeah, I see where the 9 popped up. Okay. So that is at least a major. He kind of wilts. He is clearly not the brave sort. Look, I could get fired or worse if I tell you what's going on here. But yeah, we're working on, armors.
The specific type I just mentioned, I just described to you.
What, combat armor?
Yeah, and let's see, what were the Sword Saint abilities? Like, did they have like energy swords, enhanced
they popped
strength?
energy swords out of the back of the hands. They had slightly enhanced strength.
Yeah.
Designed to melt the user.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I mentioned that specifically along like I don't know, kill switch technology or whatever that sort of thing would be called.
The guy kind of shudders. Yeah, you don't want the technology falling into other people's hands. It was an idea we got from some of those alien pirates a couple years back, or a year back, or whenever it was. Their tech tended to gray goo.
Yeah, that sounds like this exact kind of thing that one Sword Saint used. Do we want to trash this place? Just if assuming that this is in fact what the Sword Saint are getting the tech, do we want to trash this place? Keep that from.
I'm assuming Everlast says it out loud.
Yeah, barring anything else. I guess I'm giving up the so to speak. That
you see him react to the name Sword Saint.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like you know who I'm talking about. That is who you are.
No, I just heard about him in the news.
I mean, at this point, we'd either have to take him with us or kill him to avoid having the alarms go up. So,
or if we
wrecking one lab will hurt more.
Yeah, I mean, I how do you feel? Are we ready to like put a dent in the operation, as it were, ladies and gentlemen? Or do we want?
Do we know of any? Is there any way to squeeze information out from him of anything else in this place that would be prepped to kill us? Because we're in an underground base. Not the safest place to be.
As far as he knows, I mean, they've got guards, and they got some guys in the armored suits, but yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's not like there's automated turrets or anything as ridiculous as like a self-destruct device.
That's good. Well, do we want to send a message? With our fists.
Sure.
All right. I guess I'll just say to the scientists, wait right here. And I don't know, what do we just charge in and just start tearing stuff up?
Couldn't hurt. Well, I mean, it could hurt.
It'll hopefully hurt the
definitely
operation.
hurt.
All right.
So where do we want to start break? Do we just walk into every room that doesn't have a person in it, break everything in it, and walk out?
Yeah, basically a full search and destroy, like, technical stuff sweep, and then
Wait.
Hmm?
Wait. How? Oh no, I don't want to kill you. Never mind.
Yeah, me neither.
What's it now?
I was about to be like, how much space can the architect make into other things?
Oh.
Technically, she's supposed to be doing entire objects.
Are we all sticking together, or are we going into different rooms and just trashing stuff?
Let's stick together. We won't cover as much space very quickly, but we won't be cut off in case there's actually something powerful here.
Yeah, I mean, I think even if we're, I think we can. I'm trusting that we can wreck the place quickly enough that we won't get caught by reinforcements. Apart from what's already here, the few armored guards.
And Imodan will produce his fiery mace and says, "Yes, we can wreck it quickly."
All right. Something we have not done much of. We're going to handle this with a pyramid test.
Hooray!
Which is something we have not done very often, because I guess it's part of the system that I understand the least. But
yeah, that always was a tough one.
So, when the heroes are confronted with a complex task, even with degrees of success and failure, the GM can set up a pyramid test. With a pyramid test, a single test can succeed, but multiple smaller successes also accumulate to accomplish the task. This allows for teamwork to contribute different abilities or approaches to achieve success. Essentially, a pyramid test requires a single massive success. However, lesser outcomes can add up to build a pyramid of success, with two outcomes of the same degree adding up to one outcome of the next higher degree. Two majors add up to a massive, two moderates become a major success, and so forth. Let's see. So basically what we will do is each round you will describe in general what your character is doing to wreck this place. You'll make a roll using whatever stat, skill, or power that you're using to accomplish your portion of it. We are going to be doing basically an escalating. Hang on, let me double check this. Yeah, escalating. So basically, every round is going to get a little bit harder to make your successes. Basically, when y'all first break out and start doing stuff, nobody in the base is aware you're here. They're disorganized. The more time it takes you to wreck this place, the more organized resistance you're going to run into. So if you wind up failing completely, they will basically have driven you out of the base before you could completely wreck it. So for the first round, let me draw my little pyramid diagram here so I can keep up with this stuff a little better. Because there are currently 4 of you. Oh wait, no, 5 because the architect is with you.
Did we take Priest of Mott?
No, Seth is minding the store.
Okay, that's fair enough. I don't know what he can. He's not much of a wrecker anyway.
I'm sure he could find a way.
Well, he did. He can do curses. Whatever that means.
He doesn't even know what it means. It's not an ability he's ever used. It's just how the old guy described his abilities to him. All right. So I'm just going to start at the top of my screen here on Zoom and work down. with Zach going last since he's not on the Zoom. All right, so Curtis, what is Imudan going to do? What ability or skill is he going to use to start wrecking this place?
He is going to start. He's going to light up his mace and start smashing stuff.
All right, that sounds like that would either be his prowess or his strength, whichever you prefer to use.
His prowess to hit for sure.
Okay.
And the mace is lit with fire, unless someone's going to stop him.
Sounds good to me.
Someone that can literally transmute the air out of a room to stop a fire, so I don't particularly care.
And the stuff down here is not. This building down here is not. Doesn't look super flammable. It's not like you're in a strictly wooden structure or anything. I mean, there's plenty of furniture stuff down here that would that would burn. All right. Hang on. All right. All right, so an 11. That is a success. So you running through. You're just starting. You're running through, just wailing on any piece of equipment. Knocking doors down. Slapshot, what are you doing?
I guess I will just start kind of, throwing a hand up into the roof, slamming a roof tile down, seeing what's in there. If it's just like immediately dirt, or there's some support struts in there.
There's support stuff in there. A lot of the electrical wiring seems to run through that.
I'm gonna hop up there and be very glad a hockey stick does not conduct electricity. Start slapping wires till they break.
All right.
So not long. I'm super strong.
So that could also be your prowess, or that could be your strength, whichever you'd rather do.
Boy howdy, it's gonna be strength.
Okay. I figured.
Oof.
That does not succeed.
Nah. Ones tend to do that.
Everlast.
There was mention of guards. How big are those guards? Are they human-sized or larger?
Yeah, it's mostly armed human guards with a few guys in the armored suits.
Okay.
These suits do not have the full. They're not gold. They don't have all the fancy accoutrements that the Sword Saint armor had.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a very basic, plain Jane. You could easily see taking this and tweaking it into the Sword Saint armor without any trouble.
Right.
They are probably the same weaponry. But if somebody just snapped a photo of it, you wouldn't necessarily say it was the exact same. It might be somebody's off-brand version or something.
Yeah, like it hasn't been pimped out yet, so into the sword package. I'd like to try to whittle them down so they can't get in our way. Preferably, if I could maybe take one of the armored guards and use some cool wrestling move to throw them into equipment, so I can kind of do double duty, taking out the guards and wrecking equipment at the same time.
So you are slapping around guards and armored suited guys and trying to do as much property damage as possible in the process.
Yeah, basically using them to hit stuff.
All right, that sounds like a prowess then.
Okay, can I make that a wrestling thing?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, cool. I've generated a 9.
A 9. That is a success. So that is 2 minor successes y'all have so far.
Would that count as? Can we convert that to one major success? Or
yes,
how many am I?
Yeah, it is 2 minors for one major. So yes.
Okay.
So yeah, you're cannonballing into guards, tossing them, The rest of y'all see her dive into just piles of guards. She's tossing, one-handed. She manages to grab one of the armored suited guys and just kind of bowling ball him into everybody else, into a bunch of the other guys. As she gets out of view, you're hearing equipment get smashed up. Oh. Zach, what are Wolf Witch and the Architect doing?
Wolf Witch is just letting loose with a bunch of magical blasts on anything that looks fragile or expensive. And the Architect is... I'm going to say as they leave rooms, she's just unmaking anything that looks like a supporting structure.
So you're collapsing individual rooms, hopefully without, the plan being not to collapse the entire structure on top of all of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Then for Wolf Witch, that sounds like coordination rolls. Or if your ranks in magic were higher, you could just do that for the blast itself. Where the Architect will be rolling her transmutation. Alright, that's a success. And Wolf Witch got it. And she got a 2. She got a 9. So that is 2 more minors, which makes another major. And those 2 majors make a massive. Alright. So yeah, y'all completely wreck shop in this facility. Everlast just completely catches the security off guard. You're trashing the ones that are already in armor. You manage to get into a room where some of them were starting to armor up, so you take them out before they, manage to get their suits completely on. Slapshot does break some of the wires. You do have some of the lights go off. That turns out to be maybe not as useful as it could have been, because as you get closer to the house, the power is coming from the house, so as you're traveling, you're traveling in the part that's still getting power, basically. Lots of explosions behind you as Wolf Witch is just going kind of crazy, blowing out sidewalls, blowing up equipment and computers and these fabrication machines. Any bits and pieces of parts of armor that were laying around. And you see the Architect just kind of walking and peeking in a door, and there's be a puff of smoke or dust rather, as she walks by, as she starts collapsing these individual rooms. By the time you basically get back out into the house, some of the kitchen staff were standing at the basement door looking down, hearing all the noise. And they freak and run off as soon as they see you. There's a little confrontation with the armed guards that were outside the house, but they were strictly rent-a-cop level, so you bowl over them pretty easy without hurting them any more than you feel is necessary.
Unless someone stops me when we get to the upper level, I'm still going to be bashing stuff with my fiery mace.
So as you leave, this house is on fire. But the staff that were in the house were already fleeing by the time you got, as soon as they spotted you, so you were certain there's nobody in the house other than whoever is still in that basement complex while you've set the house above them on fire.
Well, smoke rises, and they seem to have a building's worth of air. They'll be fine.
So y'all are all standing out in the yard. Unconscious security guards all around you. The house is on fire. Well, we didn't find him, but it's a day's work well done.
It was a moment of catharsis.
We sent a message.
So we all got phone pictures of that shit, right?
Y'all all got selfies with a burning building behind you.
No, the secret lab too. The secret lab too.
Oh, yeah.
The secret lab.
Pretty sure y'all were documenting all that.
So we burned this house down and leveled his underground lab here. We disintegrated the doors to his lab in Cairo. I'm pretty sure he's getting a message.
Also, if this is the only place he can make that sword, that's going to be a big help. Because
Well,
there
that
will be
just seemed like a facility of research to make better ones. He probably has somewhere to make that.
No, you think so?
Other manufacturing areas. He's a billionaire. He's probably.
No, that's fair. Well, message it is then.
So y'all wind up going back to Wolf Witch's magic shop, your de facto base.
My new home.
Yes. Seth's behind the counter reading through one of his textbooks. When there's nobody to deal with. Let's see. It's almost 4, so we'll wrap here. Basically, over the next few days, you have no luck finding Vanderbly. It's like he's dropped off the map.
For some mysterious reason.
To the point that you're like, oh, somebody went into hiding. Aman is not that he's the sort that pops up in the news all the time or anything. Tech news articles tend to be the only time he pops up. So, but there's no news reports about the assault on the Arizona ranch. As far as like on the news, poking around the internet, if you're looking at, Seth manages to find an article from a local Arizona paper, talking about a ranch house that burned down, that they're blaming on faulty wiring, or maybe something went wrong in the kitchen. They're not really sure. So it was obviously covered up with the quickness. Being in the middle of the nowhere, they could kind of do that, relatively easily. So you have potentially struck a blow against this Pantheon organization, or at least let them know that they don't get to just, run unopposed. And undoubtedly, you will undoubtedly have other opportunities to take the fight to them in the future.
You have enemies who are 100% down for arson. Because out of the 2 engagements we've had in this story, both times we tried to commit arson.
When you have a fire engine on your side. Yep.
Well, let's see. You damaged the office building both times you were there. Because you took out that little bridge area and dropped one.
Well,
you broke a window.
At the start of the engagement today, we had the angel pop fire wings and go, shit's going to get on fire. And then our second fight here in this underground base, we lit on fire.
It's not just they're willing to commit arson, they seem to want to. At least that guy. So this will wrap up the haunted storyline for the moment. Like I said, undoubtedly you will continue going after the Pantheon at some point.
Sure. It's time for some new characters.
Yes. So, was somebody not going to make it next time?
I will not be here next time.
Okay.
For a very good reason.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. If you like Disney World better than us. All right, so next time we will do a collection of random heroes, or some of the unaligned heroes that I would suggest ones we haven't used yet, because I know everybody's still got a few characters they haven't used yet. And we'll do that rather than one of the teams where Curtis not being here, we would notice a character missing or something. So, during the coming 2 weeks, or sometime this week, y'all just drop me a line somewhere, let me know which characters you're going to use, and give me an idea of what kind of story to throw together.
Sure.
Hope y'all had fun today. I enjoyed it, though I admit I was expecting a bigger brawl in the initial office building.
Oh yeah.
We're sorry.
No, it made perfect sense.
And I will catch up with you all on the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Take care, man. Have fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Bring
enjoy
us
your trip.
souvenirs.
It should be fun, geeking out.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely.
bring me a lightsaber, but I don't want you to have to pay for it. So if you find a lightsaber for me, I'll keep it.
If I happen to find an extra lightsaber, it's like, yeah.
You know, if a
I bought
4-year-old
one, but they put 2 in the box. Oh well.
Oops, how did that happen?
So anyway, that'll wrap us up for today. Again, I was the GM for the day, Jason, and we had Curtis playing Emudan the Arsonist. We had Taylor playing Slapshot, Mike playing Everlast, and Zach was pulling double duty with Wolf Witch and the Architect.
Yee.
which is
Hope
why
all
they argued
y'all,
less this
any of y'all
episode.
watching later, enjoyed it, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Later.
Bye-bye.